Do you let fear control your life? What if I told you that you could eliminate fear from your mind forever? It's simpler than you think, and you already have the tools inside you to make it happen. It holds us back, keeps us from chasing our dreams, and often stops us from reaching our true potential. But what if fear wasn't something we had to live with? What if we could truly conquer it forever? In this video, we'll dive into powerful principles that show you how to destroy fear once and for all. These principles aren't new. They're rooted in timeless wisdom that's been passed down for generations. Let's break them down and see how they can help you regain control of your life. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. It shows up in different ways: anxiety, doubt, hesitation, worry. But it all stems from one thing: fear. We fear failure, rejection, the unknown. And in today's fast-paced world, it's easier than ever for fear to take hold of us. It can keep you stuck, paralyzed in place, preventing you from moving forward. So how do we stop it? How do we break free from its grip and regain control over our minds? We need to start with a few foundational ideas. Ancient philosophies and modern thinkers alike have recognized that fear is a product of the mind. It's a mental barrier. Napoleon Hill, a man who studied the principles of success and achievement, believed that everything we achieve or fail to achieve starts in our minds. If fear controls your mind, it controls your actions. But if you can master your thoughts, you can control your life. Let's start by breaking down 8 powerful principles that will help you destroy fear forever. Control your thoughts. Everything begins with thought. What you think about most is what you become. This fundamental principle is the driving force behind our actions, our behaviors, and ultimately our lives. The thoughts you entertain are not just fleeting ideas. They shape the very fabric of your reality. When you allow your mind to be overwhelmed by negative or fearful thoughts, you create a mental environment where those fears and doubts thrive. Over time, these thoughts take root and influence your choices, your actions, and even your sense of self. Fear, like any other negative emotion, is not born from the world around you. It is created in your mind, nurtured by the thoughts you give power to. The first step in overcoming fear is to take control of your thoughts. Understand that you have the power to direct your mind. Thoughts are like seeds, and just as seeds can either produce a beautiful garden or a field of weeds, so too can your thoughts either bring about positive change or lead you down a path of despair. If you allow negative thoughts to linger and take hold, you are essentially planting seeds of fear, doubt, and uncertainty in your subconscious mind. But just as easily, you can choose to plant seeds of strength, courage, and resilience. By consciously choosing to focus on empowering thoughts, you start to take command of your mental landscape. You no longer let your mind wander aimlessly into negativity. Instead, you become the master of your mental environment. The mind is incredibly powerful, but it is also malleable. It responds to the stimuli it is exposed to, whether those stimuli come from external sources or from your internal dialogue. When you feed your mind with thoughts of fear, you nurture that fear. It becomes your dominant emotional state, shaping how you perceive the world. But if you make a conscious effort to focus on thoughts that are positive, affirming, and rooted in strength, courage, and confidence, you will start to change the direction of your life. It requires intentional effort, but the results are undeniable. The more you practice controlling your thoughts, the stronger your mental resilience becomes, and the less impact fear will have on your life. This process is not about denying the existence of fear or negative thoughts. Fear will always be a part of the human experience. However, you have the power to decide which thoughts you give energy to. Fear cannot thrive in a mind that is filled with strength, purpose, and determination. As you make a habit of focusing on positive, empowering thoughts, fear will begin to lose its hold over you. It is through this practice of controlling your thoughts that you can unlock your true potential and begin to shape the life you desire. Master your emotions. Fear is not just a thought. It is an emotion, and like all emotions, it is temporary. Emotions are a natural part of being human. They come and go, rising and falling based on external events and internal reactions. Fear, however, is an emotion that often becomes disproportionate to the situation at hand. It can cloud your judgment, paralyze your actions, and keep you from achieving your goals. But the key to overcoming fear lies not in eliminating it, but in mastering your response to it. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can always control how you respond. The ability to master your emotions is essential to navigating life with confidence and clarity. Emotions are powerful, and they often arise in response to external events. Someone may say something that triggers a feeling of fear, or a situation may unfold that makes you anxious or uncertain. In those moments, it can be easy to become overwhelmed by the emotion and let it dictate your behavior. However, this is where your true power lies. You have the ability to choose how you respond to those emotions. Instead of letting fear take control, you can decide to respond with calmness, clarity, and poise. Mastering your emotions begins with awareness. When fear or any other strong emotion arises, take a step back and observe it. Rather than reacting impulsively, pause for a moment and ask yourself why you feel the way you do. What is the source of your fear? Is it based on reality, or is it a product of your mind? Often fear is a response to uncertainty or perceived danger. But when you pause and examine it, you will find that the fear is often unfounded or exaggerated. By becoming aware of your emotions and understanding their root cause, you gain the power to control your response. Instead of being swept away by the tide of fear, you can choose to remain grounded and composed. This emotional mastery allows you to make decisions from a place of clarity rather than from a place of panic or doubt. It enables you to take action even in the face of fear, knowing that fear is just a temporary emotion, and it does not define who you are or what you are capable of achieving. This ability to control your emotional state is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending that fear does not exist. It is about recognizing fear for what it is, a temporary emotion that does not have to control you. By practicing emotional awareness and taking deliberate control over how you respond, you can navigate challenges with resilience and confidence. Fear may still arise, but it will no longer dictate your actions. You will have the clarity and strength to move forward, knowing that you are in control of your emotional state. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who understood the power of emotional control, often taught that while we cannot control the events that happen to us, we can always control how we respond to them. This timeless wisdom is just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. By embracing this philosophy, you can learn to navigate life's uncertainties with poise, confidence, and emotional mastery. When fear or other emotions arise, remember that you have the power to choose your response. Through practice and discipline, you can master your emotions and create a life filled with peace, clarity, and purpose. Focus on action, not worry. Fear is a powerful emotion, one that can paralyze and hold us back from achieving the very things we desire most. When fear creeps in, it often triggers a reaction that leaves us frozen in place, unable to move forward. It can make us question our ability, doubt our decisions, and worst of all, prevent us from taking action. We become so consumed with worry about what might go wrong, about potential failure, or about the unknown that we choose to do nothing at all. But here is a crucial truth. The key to overcoming fear is not to wait for the fear to dissipate or for the perfect moment to arrive. The key is to act, even when fear is present. When you're afraid, it is easy to become paralyzed by the thought of failure, the possibility of mistakes, or the uncertainty of the outcome. But waiting for the fear to disappear is an illusion. Fear will never simply vanish. It will continue to creep into your mind at every turn, whispering doubts and discouragement. The longer you wait, the stronger its grip becomes. Inaction feeds fear, giving it power over you. But when you take even the smallest action, you weaken its hold. The act of doing something, anything, pushes fear aside and gives you the momentum you need to keep going. This is where the power of action becomes so important. It doesn't matter if the action is big or small. What matters is that you move forward. Taking a step, no matter how insignificant it may seem, begins to change your state. You create movement, and movement creates progress. With each step you take, fear loses its control over you. The more you act, the more you prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. The action itself begins to build confidence, and confidence diminishes fear. In life, there is no perfect moment. We often wait for the right conditions to present themselves, for the circumstances to align, for the perfect opportunity to arise. But the truth is, those moments rarely come. The perfect moment is now. You cannot afford to wait for everything to be just right. If you do, you'll find yourself paralyzed by indecision, perpetually waiting for conditions to change. Fear thrives in the absence of action, and by waiting, you are only giving fear more space to grow. Take, for instance, the process of learning. Whether you're starting a new project, launching a business, or learning a new skill, the beginning is always filled with uncertainty and fear. It's natural to feel that way, but if you sit back and worry about what might go wrong, you never get the chance to see what could go right. The simple act of starting, of putting one foot in front of the other, creates the opportunity for growth. With each new step, you build knowledge, resilience, and capability. What once seemed terrifying begins to feel more manageable as you keep moving forward. The act of doing also teaches you lessons that waiting never could. When you take action, you learn what works and what doesn't, and with that knowledge comes clarity. The more you act, the more you refine your approach and improve your results. But without action, you remain stuck in a state of perpetual uncertainty, held captive by fear. Understand that fear is not something that vanishes overnight. It's an emotion that can persist, but it does not have to control you. You don't need to be free of fear to take action. You simply need to act despite it. Each small step you take toward your goal weakens the fear and increases your confidence. The more you act, the more you prove to yourself that fear is not the obstacle you once believed it to be. With every decision to move forward, no matter how challenging, you dismantle fear's power and increase your own power to create the life you want. Cultivate a definite purpose. One of the most powerful ways to overcome fear is by cultivating a definite purpose in life. Without purpose, fear can take root in the void of uncertainty, confusion, and lack of direction. When you don't know where you're going or what you're striving for, fear has ample room to creep in and distract you from your goals. Fear thrives in the absence of clarity. It grows stronger when you're unsure of your direction, your values, or your ultimate vision. But when you have a clear and compelling purpose, fear has less power over you. A definite purpose gives you a reason to get out of bed every morning, a clear vision of where you want to go and why. It becomes the fuel that drives you to act even in the face of challenges, setbacks, or fear. When your purpose is powerful enough, it overshadows the doubts and fears that would otherwise prevent you from moving forward. Fear can survive in the presence of purpose. A strong, definite purpose is a beacon that guides you through the darkest moments. It provides you with the clarity and focus needed to push through difficulties. Your purpose is not just a goal. It is the deeper reason behind everything you do. It is the meaning that fuels your passion, the vision that keeps you going, even when things get tough. When you are clear about your purpose, you are less likely to be swayed by fear or distractions. Instead, your purpose becomes a compass, keeping you on track and aligned with your true desires. Whether your purpose is building a business, improving yourself, creating something new, or making a difference in the world, having a clear purpose gives you the strength to overcome any obstacle, including fear. Purpose also provides a sense of urgency. When you are connected to something larger than yourself, fear becomes less significant. You begin to understand that every moment is an opportunity to move closer to your goal. Fear may arise, but when your purpose is strong, you recognize it as a temporary emotion that doesn't dictate your actions. The more you focus on your purpose, the less room fear has to take hold. Your purpose becomes your driving force, and you channel all your energy toward fulfilling that vision. Furthermore, having a clear purpose enables you to make decisions more easily. Fear often arises from the uncertainty of making the wrong choice, from the worry that your actions might lead you down the wrong path. But when you have a definite purpose, decision-making becomes simpler. Your purpose acts as a filter, guiding you toward the actions that align with your goals and values. Fear dissipates when you trust in your purpose, knowing that every decision you make is a step toward your ultimate vision. Ultimately, cultivating a definite purpose is one of the most powerful tools you have to overcome fear. It gives you clarity, direction, and strength, making it much harder for fear to take hold. With purpose as your anchor, you can face challenges with confidence, knowing that each step you take brings you closer to your vision. Fear may still appear along the way, but with a clear purpose, you will continue moving forward, undeterred by the temporary emotions that arise. Your purpose will be your constant reminder of why you must keep going, no matter what fears or obstacles you encounter along the way. Replace fear with faith. Fear is a powerful and insidious force, capable of clouding our judgment, paralyzing our actions, and keeping us from pursuing our dreams. But there is another force just as powerful, and it is the antidote to fear, faith. Fear and faith cannot coexist in the same mind. When fear begins to take hold, it often stems from doubts and uncertainties about what might happen in the future. It whispers in our ears about what could go wrong, magnifying every potential pitfall, failure, and obstacle. But faith operates from a different place. Faith allows us to trust, to believe in ourselves, in our abilities, and in the universe's support of our efforts. Faith is the confidence that, no matter what challenges we face, we will have the strength, wisdom, and resilience to overcome them. The power of faith lies in its ability to shift our perspective. When you choose to replace fear with faith, you begin to change your mindset entirely. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, you start believing in what could go right. Instead of anticipating failure, you envision success. This shift in thinking is transformative, for it is through our thoughts that our reality is created. What we think about most is what we bring into existence. If we focus on fear, we feed it and give it power. But when we choose faith, we invite possibility, opportunity, and growth into our lives. Faith is not just a passive feeling, it is an active force that requires practice and discipline. It is not enough to simply wish for things to go well or to hope for success. Faith requires that you take bold action based on the belief that success is possible, even in the face of uncertainty. It is the belief in your ability to learn from mistakes, to adapt to challenges, and to persevere when things get tough. Faith is not the absence of fear, but rather the decision to move forward despite it. It is the inner conviction that you have the power to overcome whatever stands in your way, and that the universe will support your efforts as long as you remain committed to your vision. Replacing fear with faith also means trusting in your own abilities. Too often, we let self-doubt and fear hold us back from taking action. We second-guess ourselves, question our decisions, and wonder if we're truly capable. But when you replace fear with faith, you begin to trust that you have the skills, resources, and strength to face whatever comes your way. You begin to trust that, even if you don't have all the answers right now, you will figure it out as you go along. Faith encourages us to take that first step, even when the path is unclear, knowing that the next step will reveal itself as we continue moving forward. This kind of faith also involves trust in the process of life. When you cultivate faith, you stop trying to control every outcome and start allowing life to unfold in its own way. You recognize that not everything will go according to plan, but you trust that every experience, whether good or bad, is part of your growth. Faith gives you the courage to face uncertainty with grace, knowing that everything you encounter will serve to shape you into the person you are becoming. In practical terms, replacing fear with faith begins with consciously choosing faith over fear every time fear arises. It requires self-awareness and the ability to catch yourself when you begin to spiral into negative thoughts. When fear tells you that something is too risky, too difficult, or too uncertain, faith tells you that the risk is worth it, that you are capable of handling the challenge, and that your efforts will be supported. This simple shift in perspective can have a profound impact on your life. As you replace fear with faith, you find yourself taking more risks, pursuing bigger goals, and achieving greater things. You become a person who is not intimidated by challenges, but one who sees challenges as opportunities to grow, learn, and ultimately succeed. Faith is not only the antidote to fear, it is also the fuel for success. The more you believe in yourself, in your abilities, and in the support of the universe, the more likely you are to take the actions necessary to achieve your goals. As you replace fear with faith, you will find that life opens up to you in new and exciting ways. You will begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will act with confidence, resilience, and purpose, knowing that fear will no longer hold you back. Learn to think in terms of opportunity. Fear often arises when we perceive something as a threat. We look at obstacles and challenges as barriers that stand between us and our goals. When we face a difficult situation, fear takes hold, warning us that failure is imminent, that we are not prepared, or that we are not capable of overcoming what lies ahead. But what if we change the way we look at these challenges? What if, instead of seeing obstacles as threats, we began to view them as opportunities? One of the main reasons we experience fear is because we view obstacles in a negative light. We see them as insurmountable problems, as dangers that could lead to failure or disappointment. But what if every challenge we encounter is actually an opportunity for growth, learning, and advancement? What if every difficult situation is a chance to develop new skills, to become more resourceful, and to prove to ourselves just how capable we are? This shift in perspective has the power to transform the way we approach fear and challenges. Learning to think in terms of opportunity requires a change in mindset. Instead of focusing on the potential risks and negative outcomes, we focus on the possibilities and positive outcomes. Rather than asking, "What if I fail?" we begin to ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this challenge help me grow? What new opportunities might arise from facing this situation head-on?" By reframing our challenges as opportunities, we disarm fear and empower ourselves to take action. Fear, when viewed through the lens of opportunity, no longer holds the power to paralyze us. Instead of being afraid of failure, we embrace the potential for learning and improvement. Each obstacle becomes a stepping stone, not a roadblock. The most successful people in the world are those who have learned to view every challenge as an opportunity to grow. They know that failure is not something to fear, but something to learn from. They understand that every setback is an opportunity to refine their approach, to innovate, and to become better. Thinking in terms of opportunity also encourages a sense of empowerment. When you view challenges as opportunities, you begin to see that you have control over your response. Fear no longer becomes an obstacle. It becomes a signal that there is something valuable to be gained. Instead of retreating in the face of fear, you lean into it, knowing that there is something important to learn or accomplish. Challenges no longer intimidate you. They inspire you to take action, to push forward, and to seize the opportunity for growth. This mindset shift is especially powerful because it reframes failure. If every challenge is an opportunity, then failure is simply a part of the process, a necessary step on the path to success. When you fail, you are not defeated. You are learning. You are gaining experience and wisdom that will serve you in the future. Failure is no longer something to fear, but something to embrace as part of your journey. The most successful individuals are those who see obstacles not as threats, but as opportunities to expand their capabilities, learn new lessons, and grow. By learning to think in terms of opportunity, you change your entire approach to life. Fear no longer has the power to hold you back. Instead, you move forward with confidence, knowing that each challenge is an opportunity for growth, and that every step you take brings you closer to the life you want to create. When you learn to see the world through the lens of opportunity, fear loses its grip, and you begin to live a life of empowerment, purpose, and possibility. Surround yourself with positive influences. The environment you immerse yourself in plays an undeniable role in shaping your thoughts, actions, and overall mindset. It is often said that we become like the people we associate with, and this statement carries profound truth. The individuals you choose to surround yourself with can either lift you up or drag you down. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, fear, and pessimism, it becomes all too easy to adopt these attitudes as your own. The people around you are powerful influences, and they have the ability to impact the way you see the world, the way you see yourself, and how you approach challenges. Consider the impact of spending time with people who are constantly fearful, doubtful, or cynical. These individuals, while perhaps well-meaning, often project their insecurities and limitations onto others. When you are around such people, it is easy to absorb their fears and doubts. They may question your abilities, point out all the reasons why something won't work, and highlight the potential pitfalls of every new endeavor. Over time, this negativity can seep into your own thinking, fueling your fears and causing you to second-guess yourself. You start to see the world through their eyes, and their doubts become your own. But the opposite is also true. When you choose to surround yourself with positive, action-oriented people who believe in your potential, your mindset shifts. You begin to see things differently. Instead of fearing failure, you start to see challenges as opportunities. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, you focus on what could go right. Positive, encouraging people will help you focus on solutions instead of problems, on progress instead of setbacks. They remind you of your potential, encourage you when you feel like giving up, and hold you accountable to your dreams. The energy you absorb from the people around you has a direct impact on your mindset and actions. If you spend your time with individuals who radiate positivity, who are solution-focused, and who are committed to growth, you will start to reflect those same qualities in yourself. You will find yourself more motivated, more optimistic, and more willing to take action in pursuit of your goals. The presence of such people in your life serves as a constant reminder of your own capabilities, helping to drown out the voices of doubt and fear that might otherwise take root in your mind. But it's not just about being around people who are always positive and upbeat. It's about surrounding yourself with people who believe in your potential and who are actively pursuing their own goals. This creates a shared energy of motivation and progress. You see their commitment to their own success, and it encourages you to do the same. When you have people around you who are committed to growth and who take action toward their dreams, you naturally want to do the same. You create an environment of mutual support, where each person lifts the other up, helping everyone achieve their goals. Moreover, it's not only about who you spend your time with, but also about the way those people influence your beliefs. Fear thrives in isolation. When you are surrounded by negativity, you may begin to believe that your dreams are impossible, that success is only for others, and that you are destined to fail. However, when you are around people who are confident, focused, and driven, it becomes easier to believe that your goals are attainable. You begin to adopt their mindset, and as a result, you are better equipped to overcome obstacles, tackle challenges, and push through fears. Ultimately, the people you choose to associate with will have a lasting impact on the way you see the world and your place in it. If you surround yourself with those who are fearful and negative, you will find that fear takes deeper root in your own mind. But if you surround yourself with those who are positive, driven, and forward-thinking, you will start to see fear for what it truly is, an obstacle that can be overcome with the right mindset and actions. The energy, encouragement, and belief that positive individuals bring to your life can provide the strength and motivation you need to break free from fear's grasp and move toward your goals with confidence and determination. Embrace the power of persistence. Persistence is a fundamental key to success, especially when it comes to overcoming fear. Fear in many ways is the voice that tells you to quit when things get tough, that you are not good enough, that you will never succeed. It thrives on self-doubt and uncertainty, and it tries to convince you that your dreams are too far out of reach. Fear often shows up at the most critical moments, just when you are about to take a leap of faith, just when you are on the brink of a breakthrough, and just when you need to push through the most. But the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is often not talent or ability. It is persistence. Persistence is the act of continuing to move forward despite the obstacles, the setbacks, and the fears that arise. It is the determination to keep going even when the path is unclear, even when things aren't working out as you hoped, and even when fear is telling you to quit. It is about making the decision to keep going no matter what, because you understand that success is not about avoiding failure, but about learning from it and pushing through it. When you encounter fear, it often creates a temptation to give up. It tells you that you are not strong enough, that you are not capable, or that it would be easier to walk away. Fear suggests that failure is inevitable, and that your efforts are not worth the struggle. But the true winner, the person who ultimately succeeds, is the one who refuses to accept defeat, the one who continues to push forward in the face of adversity. Persistence is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who give up too soon. Every time you choose to persist in the face of fear, you weaken its power over you. Fear thrives on your hesitation, your inaction, and your doubts. But when you refuse to let fear dictate your actions, you take away its control. Each time you take action despite your fears, you build confidence in your ability to succeed. With every challenge you face and overcome, you gain the strength and resilience needed to push through the next obstacle. Persistence, therefore, becomes the antidote to fear. The more persistent you are, the more fear shrinks, because you prove to yourself and to the world that you are committed to your vision, no matter the difficulties that may arise. It is important to understand that persistence does not mean blindly continuing without reflection. It means staying committed to your goal, but being open to adjusting your approach as needed. Persistence is not about stubbornness. It is about flexibility and determination. It's about maintaining your vision and your commitment, while also learning and adapting along the way. Fear may try to convince you that your path is wrong, but persistence helps you remain focused on your goal, even if that means taking a different route. Over time, persistence builds momentum. The more you persist, the more success you experience. The more success you experience, the more confident you become in your ability to overcome future challenges. As you continue to move forward, your fears will gradually diminish, replaced by the powerful belief that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Fear can no longer paralyze you, because persistence has taught you that setbacks are just stepping stones, and that every challenge is a lesson that brings you closer to your goal. Ultimately, the power of persistence lies in its ability to transform fear into fuel. Fear may still appear, but with persistence you learn how to use it to your advantage. Instead of allowing fear to stop you, you use it as a signal that you are on the right path, that growth and opportunity are just around the corner. With persistence, you develop the resilience and confidence needed to push through the toughest challenges, and as you do, fear becomes less and less of an obstacle. Each time you persist, you affirm your belief in yourself and your goals, and you prove that nothing, not even fear, can stand in your way. Now imagine what your life would be like if you no longer allowed fear to control you. Picture yourself waking up every day with a clear purpose, taking action towards your goals without hesitation, and feeling confident in your ability to handle anything that comes your way. It's not a pipe dream, it's entirely possible. By practicing these principles consistently, you'll notice that fear no longer holds you back. Instead of being the one who's afraid, you'll become the one who faces challenges head-on with courage, clarity, and a deep sense of peace. In summary, fear isn't something that's outside of you. It's a product of your own mind, and just like any other thought or emotion, it can be controlled and eliminated. By mastering your thoughts, controlling your emotions, taking decisive action, and surrounding yourself with positivity, you can destroy fear forever. Napoleon Hill and many other great thinkers throughout history have shown us that the key to a successful, peaceful life lies not in avoiding fear, but in facing it, embracing it, and pushing through it.